Great.
Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I welcome all of you on the official page of HR Consultants Pakistan. Today, HR Consultants has organized this event with its partner university, Asia Pacific University. This event is basically a continuation of our live sessions which we done in the last week, in which we explain about the courses, intakes, and fees and scholarships about Asia Pacific University. But now we and APU has organized this event specifically to let you people know about the life in APU and life in Malaysia. So with us today is Asia Pacific University official representative, Mr. Miflal and Ms. Evelyn. And with me is my fellow colleague, Noman Hamid from HR Consultants. So hi, Miflal, and how Evelyn and Noman, how are you?
Good.
Hello, very excited to be here today.
Yes, exactly.
So Mr. Noman, today we are planning to ask the questions from Miflal and Evelyn about their life experience, about their study experience in Asia Pacific University and how they find this Asia Pacific University and how the country. So every student want to know about that, what is his life experience when he was first come to Malaysia and then he first enter into the Asia Pacific University. What are the problems he faced? How the Asia Pacific University staff help him in all the things? What is the lifestyle over there? What are the other curricular activities over there? So we want to ask these questions from our respected team, Flal and Evelyn. So Mr. Noman, you please proceed with the questions.
So my first question is, please introduce yourself, like Evelyn and Miflal, both.
Yeah, very good day to all the viewers. And we are just excited to be here and my name is Miflal. I'm from Sri Lanka, so your neighbor from Pakistan. So I was a APU graduate, did my bachelor's in international business management and also completed my MBA. I have been as a student affairs executive. So initially I was looking into events, activities, road shows, a lot of extracurricular activities I was handling. I got that exposure. And then essentially I moved into student marketing team where I was able to meet people from different countries, students from different countries, including from Pakistan, South Asia, Middle East.
I think Evelyn, Miflal disconnected.
Yeah, apparently he disconnected. Maybe some problem with connection. Yeah, I will continue. So basically, good day, everyone. Really happy to be here to share my experience, my personal student experience. My name is Evelyn. I'm originally from Uzbekistan, and I joined APU in 2015. So basically, I'm alumni from university. I was studying advertising and brand management. So I was touching up on social media strategy, digital advertising, branding, and all of these interesting marketing areas. After that, I joined back in my country. I joined some creative industry in terms of advertising, branding, creativity, got some experience there. And then I got a position in marketing department and also student services in the APU. So basically, literally like getting my student life experience into like my own profession.
Okay, Ms. Evelyn, I have a question for you. Why did you choose to study in Malaysia?
Honestly speaking with you, I had different options and different choices when I was choosing university, because I strongly believe it's one of the most important things which you can do in your life, because it's the beginning of your pathway of your personal career building. So when I started doing that, I was considering different countries, comparing the prices. One of the most important things that personally my parents pointed out was the safety of the country. So we considered Malaysia as a really safe country. Then first of all, like in my personal experience, is super multicultural. That what triggers me to actually come here, because I'm really into exploring different nationalities, different cultures. And also in comparison with different countries, you're getting same good quality education, but for cheaper price. Because if you compare to United States, Australia, Britain, the prices are quite high in comparison to Malaysia, yet we are getting same quality of education here. Yeah, that was one of the like major points that I considered when I was coming here.
Okay.
So Vishal, welcome back.
Yes, I'm so sorry about the technical issue right here. So I apologize for that. Evelyn, she was talking about her experience in Malaysia. Just before I touch that, so I just want to touch on the previous point I was speaking to our audience about. So I was attached to the university as a student as executive who is looking into events, activities, and so forth. And then I moved into, I am now based in Sri Lanka and supporting our students from Pakistan, Middle East, North Africa. I chose to study in Malaysia because if I'm not mistaken, I think that was a part Evelyn was speaking to you on. Yeah. So there were a few reasons, because as a international students, just after my advanced level education in Sri Lanka, I was as confused as most of the audience who are watching us today about what kind of options they should be looking at apart from, for the higher education, what kind of degree should be looking at, which country to go to. So the similar questions our audience have today, I had it a few years ago. So that was the thought when I did some evaluation at like Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, then Malaysia. So from my parents' point of view, so we have to analyze on the cost factor, quality of education, and the location, how far it is from Sri Lanka, where I come from. Then same thing for Pakistan, my audience here, our audience here. So that's when Malaysia came into picture. When it comes to the cost factor, it was among the most cost-effective destinations in the world when it comes to higher education. So towards the end, I'll be talking about a little bit on the pricing as well, and the cost factor, how much and so forth. It's in terms of the costing that will help. Especially when you have siblings in your family. I have a sibling with me and who was also studying at that time. So my parents also had to look into all those elements for recruitments and for me to go abroad and study. So cost factor played a major role. That's one of the reasons why I looked into Malaysia. And culture. So especially the South Asian culture that I come from, when we go to a country outside this environment, we still try to look into similarities and connect it with the culture. So Malaysia has a very similar culture to the South Asian experience that we are having right here in this part of the world. So in terms of the food, I was able to find the kind of food that I always wanted to enjoy. So that aspect, it plays a major role because you're committing yourself for like 3 years to 4 years of your life in a foreign country. So having the chance to find the kind of food that you would like to eat as much as you want to have it back in your country. So those were the factors which I personally wanted to explore when I was looking into Malaysia. And in terms of visa process, getting student visa is much easier, low cost. That's one thing as well. The scholarships were available. And those are the reasons why I initially looked into Malaysia. Initially in terms of the options I was looking at. So that's my personal experience, why I chose Malaysia as an education destination. I am personally very happy and satisfied about my exposure. because I used to be a very reserved, introvert, antisocial character back in the days when I was doing my higher education before I went to Malaysia. So after I got that exposure within APU, I was very happy about who I am today, especially to the university I joined in, and I'm happy about what I have become today after my 4 to 5 years of experience with APU as a student, now as a staff. Over to
So,
you.
why did you specifically choose Asia Pacific University to pursue your education?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, because it's like when we go to a shop, we want the best. Same like the parents' point of view. So they want to get the best for higher education for the son. And of course, I was looking into certain factors. In terms of university, what's very important is that the recognition is a very crucial factor. No matter what kind of a degree you have, if your degree is not recognized, then there is no point in that. So first thing first, my parents and we were looking at recognition for the degree internationally, not only in Malaysia, also in different parts of the world. If I am to move out to a different country, to migrate for PR options, to transfer from Malaysia to Australia, and so on and so forth. So recognition is one main reason. So APU was able to convince me in terms of the recognition they had. And secondly, university location, I personally felt plays a major role. Imagine you're a foreign student, you're coming to a university where there's nothing much around you. That makes a bit of a difficult time to spend, especially when you are spending 3 to 4 years of your life in that particular country. So Malaysia at Asia Pacific University, the strategic location of the university being located in Kuala Lumpur, that was another added point for me to decide on APU, because the accessibility to shopping malls and everything, over the weekend, the student life, we have to have that balance. So I was personally very satisfied on that. And thirdly, also would like to highlight on the diversity part. As a foreign student, when I go to another university in Malaysia, I'm going not only for the education, but also for exposure. The exposure plays a major role. So that's when my parents and we saw APU, that was diversity, and the university is rated #1 in Asia for being the most multicultural university. So that was one attractive point, because in my classroom, I did international business management. So imagine when you do a degree in international business management, having students coming from different countries in your classroom, that adds a lot of flavor to your profile. So within my classroom, I had about 22 students, out of which 16 to 17 of them were from 16 to 17 different countries. So that exposure adds a lot of flavor to you. So that's when you meet, you understand, you exchange ideas, you have the group assignments and everything coming along with it. I was very personally happy about it. And then, that's why one of the reasons why I chose APU. And also to connect it, your degree to be connected with employability. Having a degree is one thing. Getting that degree connected with employment is the most important thing. No matter what type of a degree you have, if it's not getting that employability part, getting connected, that's in fact, baseless. So what I felt personally with Asia Pacific University, they have a very strong industrial link. So that's when, companies, they come very often to the university, they give feedbacks to students and staff as well to update the academic subjects. That's very important. So you learn what they practice out there in your classroom. So that was another additional point that I would like to share with the audience who are listening to us today. And over to you.
I want to ask from both of you, Evelyn and Miflal, what was your first impression when you come to Malaysia as an international student? What is your experience? I wanted to hear from both of you.
So maybe Evelyn can go.
Yeah, of course. Basically, I also chose in APU also because of those reasons. I completely agree with Ms. Miflal. And when I firstly came to Malaysia, honestly speaking with you, I also had some difficulties, obviously, like all international students would be facing. One of those difficulties was adjusting to the weather, because back in my country, in Uzbekistan, we actually have 4 seasons, And during winter or autumn, it's pretty cold, and I got really used to it, and I'm really a winter girl. So it was very complicated for me to get used to 24/7 summer. And it's really humid in here, it's very hot. So that was one of the issues. But you know, as I understood with time, human beings can adjust to literally anything. So with time, I actually got used to this weather so much that now if you send me to cold like country, I will disagree. Definitely. So another issue was getting used to the local food, because most of the food that you find, if it's locally, it's really spicy. And back in my country, we have like mostly like Western food kind of. And that was one of the issues as well. But also with time, when you get to know and you get to explore and discover different type of cuisine, they have different types of cultures. You get to know that, you know, Malaysia has so many different options for you to choose from. So now after like 5 years living in here, I can like understand and realize how those difficulties didn't mean anything in the beginning, because after some time, literally, I don't feel that there is nothing was that I felt personally wrong with Malaysia in terms of food or weather. You get adjusted to anything. So those were like quite first impressions and difficulties, but after some time it faded away. Another thing was definitely getting used to getting yourself out of the comfort zone, and you know, getting exposed to so many cultures, so many like language barriers, different accents as well. So you need to get used to understanding each of the culture and each of the accent. That was one of the difficulty, but after some time as well, you just get used to it, and you grow with the experience itself. So my first impression was quite tough in terms of, oh, how can I live in such hot country with so like such spicy food? But after some time, I realized, you know, nothing happens without a reason, and I was supposed to be here, and now I can see myself how I grew so much. So yeah, first impression was kind of like that.
And what about Viflal? How's your impression?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was fine with spicy food because coming from this part of the world, unlike Evelyn was probably would have been having. So even for our audience who come from Pakistan and other countries, spicy food is something that is not should not be a major issue overall. And even my very first experience, and especially as an international student arriving in Malaysia, that first impression is the most important impression that we basically have. And I was with my parents. So what I personally felt the moment I arrived in, there was a team from the university. It's called APU Student Welcome Team. They were there at the airport to welcome you and pick you up from the airport. So that was most of them together with the university staff. They come and they pick you and they familiarize. So I was able to find another friend or person from my country. So it's pretty much we were able to connect. So I personally felt, more comfort, so that we managed to get in touch with someone who is also a university student during arrival stage. And then from there, you've been taken to the university directly from there. So within the university, the moment you walk in, the APU student welcome team, especially, they come and it's a group of students comprised of different nationalities together. They're existing students. So they want to support, their role is to support the new students and parents who are coming to Malaysia for first time, to guide them through on step-by-step basis. So that is very important. I personally felt to have that kind of a connection with people almost in our age range, to have that, those who are currently our students. So we were able to connect it. So that comfort zone is very important, especially when you arrive as a international student for the first time in Malaysia, which I personally was happy about. And as an international student, definitely when you go abroad, you might also feel a bit of homesick. That is normal. That is a very normal thing when students go abroad, for 2-3 days. That's when I felt the WhatsApp groups with the specific communities. With Pakistan, there's a Pakistani WhatsApp group community, and with Sri Lanka and other communities, even Uzbekistan, countries, Central Asia. So we have those WhatsApp group communities. You will be career counsel. However, generally, there is also a chance of you speaking to them and getting consultation on that. And also there are tours for newcomers in Malaysia organized by the university to Kuala Lumpur, the iconic Twin Towers. Like Malaysia, the very first thing that we go place, the site tours by the student welcome team and the university. And then it goes to the orientation part where you are actually given a very interesting approach to mingle with students from other countries during orientation. So ideally within the first 4 or 5 days from the time you arrive, you will be taken through a process of familiarization. So that's in a positive way that will make you feel connected. So that idea, I in fact personally liked it. And that was my first impression, my first experience as well. And I think I managed to cope up with it very well. And I'm very happy about the service in terms of that by the students. And over to you. Yeah.
So how was your learning experience as an international student and opportunities in terms of academics and non-academics activities?
Well, I will start. So basically, I joined advertising and brand management. So I was very first batch of design students, and it was very interesting and extremely exciting because I'm really into creativity and I really wanted to know and explore this field. So university gave me a really good chance of doing that. First of all, is because it's really good opportunity.
Evelyn, like to take it?
Lecturers are actually part-timers, most of them. They come from real life industry, from the creative industry. So they brought us a knowledge what actually the industry needs, what are the requirements, what are the demands from the industry people, because what do we need education for our future, to build ourselves as a professional afterwards. So definitely that was an important part for me to implement into my learning experience, something that I can actually take out and use in terms of my profession and future. And it was really interesting because it's not something that, like knowledge that is written on the paper. It's actually experience that you get, because we were taken to a lot of different workshops outdoors to actually experience the industry, how creativity works. We were, giving a lot of like interesting activities to actually brainstorm and grow our creativity in terms of our profession.
There is some social network.
And now, sorry?
Please continue, Evelyn. Please continue.
So basically, it was really interesting also in terms of getting cooperation with different design departments, because we have different majors in design, like visual effects, animation, me, advertising, brand management, also product design, transportation design. So it was really interesting to be connected to those areas as well, because in real life industry, you actually worked all together. So we did it as well during our life education, and it was very extremely exciting. Because when I further got into my profession, I was also cooperating with different departments. So my learning experience actually affected that part a lot because it wasn't already something new for me. I already got that experience before. And one of the most beautiful things that actually triggered me to understand that that was the right thing to do for me in terms of choosing my university profession, the country, is also the multicultural experience again, because different people have different views, different ideas, different cultures have different mentalities, and that also affects creative world as well. So you learn much more than just your pathway, your profession. You're actually getting so much of exposure and understanding from different cultures. That is like the best thing that could happen to me in my creative field. Yeah, I will pass it to Miflao now.
Personal academic and non-academic experience, I'll put it in 2 categories. So basically, in terms of the academic part, the lecturers, they come from different countries. That's something very interesting as well, to have that academic insight, people coming from different professional as well as academic qualified people coming as lecturers to teach you in your classroom. That's something very important, I personally felt. And in addition to that, the subjects being updated from time to time according to industrial feedback. That is, as I initially highlighted. So this is also another interesting point which I personally felt which was really useful for us. as students who are able to grasp on what's being practiced out there in the market. So you learn what's practiced out there in the market in your classroom. And third, most interesting area, which I personally thought would be interesting, was to connect with students and the companies through APU Startup Hub. So if you are a first year of your project and whatsoever, there is an APU Startup Hub where students, they come to this particular startup hub and you are being connected with the company. The companies will come and invest in your ideas. So this is something where it connects you to become an entrepreneur, irrespective whether you're an engineering student, business student, IT student, whichever the field that you are in. So that connection part is what was really, I personally enjoyed during my time of studies. As far as the extracurricular part of it, the non-academic part is concerned, the university supports student activities, various in terms of sponsorships and so forth as well. The university support. I was playing cricket with the Pakistan team, not the cricket team itself, but Pakistan students at APU. So we had our sports carnival and all that. So we had a very good connection, bond building with the different communities, because cricket is something that we all connect with. So for those who are interested to play cricket and continue playing cricket in Malaysia, you can do that, because APU has a cricket club as well, which you can definitely join in and then continue on. And I personally was involved in terms of non-academic, also on the co-curricular activities, where I was doing community engagement services and so on and so forth, going to different villages, helping out with the locals. So this was a good experience that I enjoyed doing as an international student on my academic as well as non-academic experience. So over to you.
I can actually agree with that as well, because outside of campus, we actually had a lot of co-curriculum activities. For example, design students had actually chance to have mural paintings. So we were actually encouraged to go and paint some buildings and like some live, graffiti in the streets for good purposes. Like, for example, there was a house built for homeless people, and we were the ones who actually decorated the house. It was beautiful, and now we actually left something after us, in Malaysia. And a lot of charity works, which are encouraging our humanity, first of all, and then also encouraging us to help the society besides our studying. So that is also one of the best experiences as well.
Can you please explain about the industry placements for your students?
So I'll take it back first. Okay. So as far as the university industry placement is concerned, in the end, everyone's focus is employability. So the university has a specific and dedicated career center. It's called APU Career Center, where they organize career fairs for students every once in 4 months, where they bring companies from Australia, Vietnam, Japan, Singapore, of course, Malaysia. So where students could apply for jobs, students could connect with companies from the first year itself. So you don't have to wait until your internship, which is definitely a mandatory aspect, which you don't have to wait until then. You can start, getting connected with companies from the first year itself. So that connection is being already built in the system itself. So that's the advantage when it comes to you being connected with companies, and also the companies that the university works with. When it comes to technology, engineering, so we are very highly being recruited, the students who come from that particular background. And also we conduct quite a number of industrial talks. So I was able to attend various talks by AirAsia, Microsoft, Dell, Hilti. So many companies every week, almost every week there's something going on. So students have the opportunity to attend those events, activities, and participate even in the competitions, bring that exposure, and then you add value to your CV. Because companies nowadays, they don't just look at your academic qualification. That's only a paper qualification, but they look at the extracurricular activities and your value-added points in terms of your exposure. So that exposure part is already built in the process. So I was personally happy as a student what I had gone through in terms of our industrial linkages, industrial visits, and competitions being organized, competitions I have participated. So it's a very full-fledged comprehensive process starting from your first year all the way until you graduate. So that was my view on industrial statements with Asia Pacific University. Over to you,
On
Evelyn.
my side, it actually was very interesting because I got an opportunity to get an internship, and for now it's compulsory for students to actually undergo internship up to 3 months, and it's a brilliant opportunity for you to get exposure to a lot of different companies out there. And most of our students are actually getting real life jobs through these opportunities, meanwhile being in internship. I personally got internship in Maldives. It was something incredible for me because I got myself out of the comfort zone, and I worked in a marketing and sales team department in a remote island. I was promoting island inside and out. And I had like 3 months experience over there, and I didn't even feel myself as an intern. Because my lecturers, they helped me a lot through this process. First of all, they have like a supervisor that is assigned to you, and you go through every single procedure with this supervisor, how to write a proper CV, how to conduct a proper interview, how to go through it. And it's really important because you never faced it before and you never went through any interview before in your life. So it's really important for you to actually get this kind of support. And we got it from our lecturers, which I'm really thankful for. And when I got into my internship, I felt like a real life worker, they didn't treat me like an intern at all. I was taking part in different departments, event management, marketing management. It was really crucial for me to actually get this exposure and understand how a real life industry works. And it's actually really interesting that I got an opportunity. They asked me to join them after my graduation. So which proves that we are really good in employability, because during these internship placements, companies get interested in young talents and they actually offer jobs straight away. That's what happens to most of our students.
Okay, we have discussed in the discussed in the previous session about the courses and the fees, but for our viewers who are present at the moment and watching us, I want you people to just put a small, just share us with a small highlight about the courses and its fees, general idea.
Yes. So as far as Asia Pacific University is concerned, the university specializes in computing, engineering, technology, business, accounting, design, animation, and those programs. So your degrees are mainly 3 years in duration. If engineering, it will be 4 years. And as far as the intakes are concerned, university has about 4 intakes per annum. Generally February, April, September, November. So if you are coming from HSSC and SSC backgrounds, you can ideally look into September or November intakes, which you can apply through HR consultancies. They will be able to guide you in terms of your guideline. And also the scholarships are also made available for students with high performance. If you have good results, I was able to get a scholarship based on my A-levels. And you can try as well if you have good results from your Cambridge, EdExcel, even the local HSC and SSC curriculum. So that advantage is there. And these areas are mainly connected with employability part. So the degrees are very much futuristic. So that whatever degree that you take within business or IT or engineering, so those connections are made with the industry. So you have that linkage. So this is what I would like to share about the university in terms of the program, the costing, the intakes, and so forth. So maybe Evelyn also could add 1 or 2 pointers in this regard.
Yeah, of course. To add up, I want really to emphasize the point that most of our majors are actually connected to innovation and technology, which is really important nowadays, because as you can see, most of the professions, they're actually being replaced with computers, right? So whatever we have, even if you have, like, for example, finance program, we actually have fintech right now as well, which is connected to technology, for example. Plus, if we're talking about any creative program, like, for example, animation or visual effects, everything is connected to creativity and innovation as well. If we talk about business, we offer also e-business. So mostly, if we offer, like for example, also engineering, we offer mechatronic engineering, which is related to robotics. So whatever we offer is actually promising a good future and is in demand right now. So you can be assured that after graduation, you won't be sitting at home and wondering where can I find a job. Employers will actually hunt for you. That is like one of the good reasons as well. Also in terms of like living cost, Malaysia is really good in terms of food availability for the taxi, shopping as well. So everything is really affordable if you compare to other countries. So that is also a really good point to consider, because you don't spend as much per month. Accommodation that we offer, even off campus, is very much available and affordable for students.
Okay, Evelyn, can you tell us about student life outside university in terms of entertainment?
Yeah, like personally, when I got here, I met my best friend. She's from Finland, which is also a great exposure. So me and her, we share some common interests. We are really into movies, and that is one of the best things that can also be in Malaysia, because there are a lot of malls that you can go and enjoy the cinema. Like coming to like malls, the shopping is brilliant because everything is available. I don't even know how many shopping malls they have in Malaysia, because I personally been to only 30, let's say. It's also a great opportunity. And everything is available, and outside the in university life, you are actually exposed to different activities. And personally saying, every single day being a student, I actually felt myself as a really good tourist, because even after living a few years in Malaysia, I still could find so many interesting places to travel to inside Malaysia itself. It has beautiful beaches, it has incredible wildlife like zoo, bird park. That is really important when you come to a new country, that you actually can explore different cultures, different traditions, as well as customs. That is really important for a student to be exposed to this kind of things. So I was really grateful, because besides of being a student, I actually was also a really good tourist. Got opportunities to travel inside. It was brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, so dear viewers, you listen everything from Flal and Evelyn. We are very thankful to both of you. And they have explained that when you come first time to Malaysia, you will be welcomed by the Asia Pacific University staff
Thank
over
you
there
for
at
having
the
us.
airport straight away to help you in clearance of all your immigration process, and they will then take to your university, where you also welcome by the international office team. And apart from, because this session is basically not for purely for academics, this session is basically based on how the life is in APU and in the Malaysia. So basically, what they said, that apart with the academics qualifications over there, academic part of that, they are offering some extracurricular activities with you, in which Miflal has told that they have a sports club, a cricket team of Pakistan over there, which they play with the Sri Lankan team over there. So it's not a national level, but it's the APO Pakistan team and APO Sri Lankan team, and they have a lot of sightseeing. Just Evelyn has told that there are beaches, there are shopping malls, and so the life over there is very comfortable, and the Asia Pacific University staff is very helpful over there. What we experience from the students, as we are the counselors, and we get the feedbacks from the students, that all the students are very comfortable over there, and Asia Pacific University team officers are very helpful with all of them. So, and they also at the end of the session, they tell about the courses they offer, which are related from designing, engineering. This university is particularly is very popular for IT courses like cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and they are offering the postgraduate programs as well. And the fees are very competitive. It's almost something 7,000 to 7,500 USD per year. And Meflal has said that he has got scholarship from APU as well. So dear viewers, if you have a good marks like Meflal have, so you can also eligible for 30% scholarship, the maximum that university offers for each of its years. So dear, our numbers are displayed on the screen. You can have, you just send your education documents, or if you have any further query, you can call on the number mentioned on your screen, or you can even WhatsApp your education documents over there. And I'm mentioning my email address, which is malaysia@asiapakistan.com. You can also send your education documents over here. And So just relax at your home. We, HR consultants, whole team, Asia Pacific University, whole team is working for you. The admissions are open, the intakes are open for June, July. So you don't have to panic. We are just praying for Allah to get the situation at the end as soon as possible, to flatten the curve as early as possible, so that all the things will get resumed. So dear Miflal and Evelyn, we are going to end the session. Any goodbye remarks from your side?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, and to all the viewers, our partners, for any questions, clarifications, they will be there to support you from A to Z. And wish you all the best, and see you in Malaysia, and see you at APU.
Okay.
Hope to see you guys on board. Don't worry. Get yourself out of comfort zone, and believe me, it's gonna be best years of your life. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miflal and Evelyn, for your time. Thank you. Take care. Thank you, viewers, for your time. Take care. Allah Hafiz.